Oh, so we all had boogie in there.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
I wrote Barroom Boogie.
Yeah.
Like a boogie woogie.
I
You had boogie.
I just had boogie.
Lay down the boogie.
All right, here we are. Welcome back to the podcast. I think the name is Say What You Will podcast. And so got Dennis and Mark here with me, and we're back in the cabin for a rainy night, talking rock. Yeah. Woo. Talking rock from August 1983.
Yep.
Oh. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for chatting up on the socials. Keep doing it. Helps a lot. Try to share it with people. Let them know. We'll try to bring this to the masses, if you will. But I guess we have a lot to talk about news-wise, unless you want to say anything personal before we get into that. Other than Mark brought some good chips here.
Those are pretty good, huh?
Plant snacks.
Plant-based.
Anything? Or you just want to jump right in?
Did you graduate from Kale?
I did.
Derek's got a kale T-shirt on.
Masters in
Green.
vegetableology.
The master of none.
Not good.
I say we get right into it.
All right,
We
well,
got
let's
some
go.
good
Let's
stuff.
do it.
All right, Dennis, go. You start.
So, a couple news items I had was Leonard Skinner with the death of Gary Rosington. Apparently, his wife felt that the band should continue, so they're going to continue to honor the legacy of Leonard Skinner and tour and play that music.
Who's
Well,
left?
I think they should continue as a tribute.
Well, I think that, and I think they've accepted that somewhat. It's Van Zant's brother, younger brother, and then Medlock. There's nobody. Everyone's dead. They say, I read something or heard something. Maybe it was on a radio, satellite radio, and they talk about, all the members of Leonard Skinner have passed away. But when you think about it, what about Artemis Pyle?
He's still alive.
He's
But
still
he's
alive.
not original, but he's
But I mean,
he's
when
the
he was
classic-
on the big albums, right?
classic drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
But
yeah,
he's not even in it.
no,
even in the band.
no. So he put an album. He wrote a book, and then I heard an interview years ago on Howard Stern with him talking about his book, and very interesting. He talked about the plane crash because he was like one of the guys that climbed out of the wreckage and actually walked through the woods, and he actually I don't want to spend a lot of time, because I know we got a lot to talk about, but basically he had blood all over himself, and he talked about walking onto this guy's property, and this farmer saw him and yelled at him to stop, and I guess he was so delirious because he had just in a plane accident.
Right.
He kept walking, and the guy shot him.
Get out.
Shot him. I guess he hit
The
him in
plane
the
crash wasn't enough.
Right.
he hit him in
A
the
bullet
leg,
in the shoulder.
and then
Holy
yeah.
smokes.
So the big thing with Artemis Pyle and the divide with the band was apparently he didn't he left them. And he claims, I left the wreckage to get help, and they're like, no, you're just saving your own
Well, you're not
ass
gonna
or
do any
something.
good to
Really?
the city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was some bad blood, and it all started from that situation. But yeah. But anyways, they're going to carry on with the band.
So that ties into something that I was going to mention. I think it's one of my headlines. But the concept of, and I think I heard Gene Simmons talking about it, that he said they're going to stop and they're going to back a sanctioned tribute band that is like totally legit,
They've
totally
talked about that.
totally. It's kind of a cool concept because you get the backing of the band, you probably get some promotion from the band, and
Right.
you're out on tour and you're still making money. You know, money's going to the band.
Yeah, it's a franchise.
And those
But they're a
guys,
brand.
right?
They're
And those
basically
guys are just
old.
hired. No, the people.
Oh. No, but that's a good point. Is wouldn't you want to go see and hear these songs done by young, fresh guys on stage? And Gene Simmons is 75 years old, trying to walk around up there.
Yeah.
He fell down, I think, the last concert.
Yeah.
He took a header, walking around with those boots on. I mean, you're not getting the show you got in 75 with these guys.
Right.
Right. So I don't mind going to see it with some young guys up there. Who cares once the makeup's on, right?
It was even other bands though. Like, I mean, even if I don't know, even if you got someone to do, let's talk about Van Halen, really good, and you had, the production, you had even if it's in a smaller place and it's, quote unquote pushed and sanctioned by the band, the original.
Yeah, I think it would
be cool.
Better if you get it sanctioned and you did it in the arenas. Then it's like.
Well, if you could fill it, but maybe you could. I don't know.
Because if you're going to just go see them in a small place, why don't you just go see a cover band of Van Halen and pay half the price?
But to Derek's point, I think the level of acceptance from the public is there now. Like, you go back 30, 40 years ago, it had to be Gene Simmons.
That's what he's saying.
But now
it's so
people
accepted.
don't care.
But he's saying it's so. Oh, I see what you're saying.
They don't even know who's in the band.
Right. No. But if it was appearing that we were seeing a young David Lee Roth, a young Al, a young Mike and Eddie in a big ass show.
That's what I'm saying. But
and
I think
if they did like a 12-city tour, they could. Maybe they could do it.
I'd go to that.
I would totally.
You found the right guys.
Yeah.
That
a young
figured out all the little.
Oh, totally.
Things that.
It'd be like acting.
They all do, so it's because Eddie had his certain stuff he did, right?
Yep.
And even Michael Anthony, how did he move on stage? What was his signature stuff? What did he do? They capture all that, so you feel like when we went and saw that Van Halen tribute. Yeah, they're playing the tunes. You got the wigs on, stuff, but they don't have the personalities or the stage persona.
Right.
So you know what I mean. So I think it would work if they really focused on what these guys did on stage to a T. Well, some guys do, like Ralph Cien. What is his name?
Right. And I think
he knows those little things to do.
Yep. And I think they could. Like, you have actors that play roles and, pull it off pretty good.
Study them.
Yeah.
Just study the guy.
Study and to be one official tribute band for that. Speaking of, what's his name? Ralph?
Yeah.
He, I read, tried out, or there are demos of him singing on Van Halen tracks with Eddie.
Like before, when they were looking for.
I don't know if it was when they were looking. Yeah, I think it may have been that time, that window. And I was like,
that would
holy
have been
smokes.
The greatest replacement. Best, other than Dave. Well, Sammy's different in his other way, but I mean.
We say that, but I wonder if we were like, ugh, he's just ripping off Dave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's actually in Van Halen.
Right.
Yeah. We love him because he's, replicating it.
Yeah. But anyways, there's recordings out there. I didn't do any type of hard digging, but those would be very interesting to hear.
What else, Dan?
New Dawkins album, whatever. But it's worth mentioning. I'm sure.
Boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've heard. Don's voice.
Yeah.
On some live stuff on YouTube and.
Yeah, he's in rough shape. Yeah, he's just not healthy. And then, of course, speaking of health, Nickel McBrain, had a stroke, and apparently, I guess I think he's back with the band. I heard he said I'm 70% back, which is better than 99% of the other drummers.
Well, you get kind of shocked when you hear this stuff, but then you look and go, oh, he's 70.
Yeah, right.
I guess.
Yeah.
And touring and drugging and drinking.
Yeah.
Well, how about the guy? I think we talked about it on the podcast. The guy from Kix, the drummer, who had a freaking heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
Fell right over his snare, and the bass player and one of the roadies revived him.
Bill Ward, too, right?
Bill Ward.
He keeled over playing drums.
Yeah.
Sabbath.
Oh, really?
I think they were rehearsing or something and had a heart attack.
Jesus.
I mean, he's even older.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Wait a second, Dennis. That's 3 drummers we've talked about. Hey, Mark,
You know, it's
watch
like Spinal
yourself.
Tap, but the drummer
Watch
dies.
yourself.
That's all I got.
do I
Mark, you
got?
got anything? I got a few other.
Oh, yeah, I read something from Bob Rock saying Nikki Sixx didn't play on any Motley albums until Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, and so I've heard that too, and they talked about the guy, the session guy that came in to do them all the work, like at night. Like Nikki would do stuff.
Yeah, because I always hear, oh, Nicky's a terrible bass player. And then I listen to the albums and I go, that's a pretty solid bass playing going on. So
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't him because
It
just didn't sound, it didn't add up. It's like, how can you, even like a Shout album, the bass is good on that album.
We'll be talking about it next month.
When
Right.
did Bob Rock get involved with
Doctor.
Crew? It was towards
Dr.
the end.
Feelgood.
Yeah.
Towards the end, towards the middle. So Nicky did play on those early,
He played,
allegedly, or we assume.
wow.
What
he's
they're saying is
credited to.
he right, and he played on them during the sessions, and then while they were away, this session guy from L.A. I forget the guy's name.
He
Actually,
recorded tracks when he left the
I think
studio.
it was actually a
Some
girl.
other guy would come in and redo all his tracks.
Even with the early albums?
Yeah,
all of them.
that's what they're
All
saying.
of Dr. Feelgood.
Oh, I thought you meant just with the ones that Bob Rock were
No,
involved.
he'd go in and lay down the tracks.
Because Werman did most of the stuff in
Right.
the old days.
And then he'd go home, and then some bass player would come in and redo all his bass tracks. I mean, this is all speculation, right?
But holy smokes, like what a fraud of a band if all this stuff is coming.
yeah,
Yeah,
which-
but I don't think he knew it.
Oh,
I don't think Nicky knew they were
he's out of
recording
his
his
mind.
tracks. They waited till he left.
man,
and
that
they'd
sounds
re-record his-
good.
out of his mind on drugs
Yeah, he
and
probably didn't even care,
What a it's just crazy to think about.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Jesus, keep
A
the good
couple,
news coming.
Autobiographies out. Tate's got one. Jeff Tate.
Yeah.
And Tame Down. Am I pronouncing his name right?
Tammy
Tame Down. I mean, who
or
cares?
tie me down.
Who cares about his? Was he that prolific back in those days, or this guy deserves an autobiography? Who's interested?
Yeah, he's
I
gonna.
don't know.
He'll
That's
talk
the
about
Pussycat,
his
right.
Yeah,
right. He'll talk about his dependency issues and all that, which is notorious. But Tate would be interesting. The whole dynamic around Queensryche. and
Yeah.
they were all
I mean, they're a little more legendary.
yeah,
and they were
but
huge.
good friends. You know,
So I could see Tate. I don't know about Down. I don't know if that's enough substance there. Yeah, he's going to talk about the LA Sunset Strip and
Right.
all the debauchery, basically, right?
right?
and how he was just he wasn't like a musician as a kid. He was working in a clothing store on Melrose.
He just
And just
jumped on
kind
the
of fell
bandwagon.
into the whole thing. But I still think it's incredibly crazy, and I talked about this on the podcast, that their debut album came out in '86, and so did Guns N' Roses. Like, I always thought that they were after. Oh, no, wait. Am I confusing LA Guns? No, I think it was...
No, 'cause I used to see.
No, it was LA Guns. I think it's LA Guns.
Right.
You can correct me out there, people. But I think it was LA Guns album came out the same time as
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses.
Right,
That's what
that
it
would
was.
make sense. Yeah,
But
They just didn't take off like
no,
Guns
no.
N' Roses.
What
The
else?
material just wasn't as good.
No.
Ted Nugent kicked off Facebook. Shocking.
Uncle Ted.
Yeah. Just telling it, his typical telling it the way it is.
Yeah.
And, they obviously didn't like his comments about, politics or government or whatever.
guns.
So he's done. And I guess Rival Sons have a new album coming out.
I thought I told you this, that they did
I couldn't remember.
They did 2 albums.
Like back to back.
Yep, they had enough material for 2 albums. Didn't want to release it as like a double album, and said they would release the other section of it.
Yeah.
I think it's coming out in September. Yeah.
Well, why not just do a double album?
They said it didn't fit. Like it was
Two different kind of
Yep.
styles.
Yep. They were recently on Eddie Trunk talking about it because they released a single from that album. So yeah, I think it's coming out in September.
Nice.
Wonder if they'll play any of that
Probably.
Sunday.
It's such a good live show. Such a good.
Oh my God!
God, they
Well,
rock.
that's why I'm going. Bring my brother to see them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know he'll like that. I bought it for his Christmas gift. I said, I'll buy you a Cheryl.
Where's the show?
Portland.
Oh, really?
You're staying
Yeah.
at your son's house.
Oh, yeah.
Like 27 bucks for a ticket.
That's it? Wow.
Yeah, once you
State
jump
Theater,
in,
right?
GA.
Yeah.
At the State Theater. I'm not sure where that is. in
State
Portland, but
Theater.
We're gonna go up early in the day.
Huh.
You know, eat
What's that, Sunday, you said?
Sunday.
Uh-huh.
I took Monday off.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know what we're gonna do. You know, it's an hour and a half ride home after.
Right.
So
Nice. Did you guys see the Paramount Plus I Want to Rock documentary?
No,
I have
not yet.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Like Kip Winger's on it, singer of Vixen. Ricky Rackman's in it. It's pretty good. It talks about just how they, like, how much Kip Winger just got freaking kicked in the mouth, like moment after moment when they tried to get that band going, from Metallica to Beavis and Butthead to the Scene to everything.
I guess James Hetfield apologized to him, like recently, for that stuff.
He said that they all did but one, and I don't know.
Lars.
Oh, is it Lars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the one who threw the dart at his face in the video.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to throw a dart at the guy's face, but you don't put it on one of your biggest videos ever.
Yeah.
In the height of...
Videos.
You killed that guy.
Yeah.
You killed that guy's career. And it's like, yeah, you don't like the band. It's not
Right.
your thing. But it doesn't mean he doesn't have a career that he's
Right.
trying to establish. And he has a fan base. So you go out there and then to put the... He should have sued Beavis Butthead for that character.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, that was just,
But it's a good documentary. It's funny, they talk about the scene changing with Seattle coming in, but what they don't talk about, and I wish they would, is like no one blamed the record industry for any of it. Like
it was all them.
they just signed everyone.
Well,
It didn't
flipping
matter.
through this magazine.
Yeah, right. I just gave Mark and Dennis some Metal Edge magazines. From,
This is the demise. Metal Edge magazine, 1990. What is this? 290. This is the demise of
they just.
that Roxy.
I wish
Sweet
they-
FA.
Sweet FA.
Okay. I'm a major heavy metal hard rock fan, and I was in a heavy metal band, hard rock band with you right there. I couldn't tell you what song this band ever sang.
Yeah.
I'd never heard them on the
Sweet
radio, but they're
Yeah.
plastered through these magazines, and they're on a label. They're on major labels.
It was all label push.
Sweet FA. You know, this was the problem. They signed all these freaking bands. It got so oversaturated. Heaven's Edge, never heard them. I only know them from the magazines.
Yeah.
They didn't get any airplay, right? Not over in the East Coast.
No. So yeah, I wish they interviewed like some A&R reps or some record label people to talk about
Right.
what they were doing.
They're
because
just trying to strike gold again.
they were.
Let's hire this. Let's sign a band. Ooh,
Oh,
this
yeah.
band's popular. Let's find the next Janie Lane and try and
Right.
recapture the same success.
Yeah.
And let's do it again. And let's do it again. And let's do it again.
Yeah.
And they send these bands out in a van with pulling a U-Haul. We opened up for these bands. They didn't have a pot to piss in these bands. Half the money they made, if not all of it, went what? Back to paying for their album.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were.
You know, you get a loan, right?
Right.
These guys had no money.
So yeah, I mean it was pretty good. And then they were able to the tape archives was able to get permission to release that stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
What they did is they changed like the music and they blurred out the imagery. It was pretty good. The 84 one was pretty good. I don't know if it was that. I think it was that where they talked about how much Eddie loved Angus Young.
He did.
And like they talked about Panama being a ripoff of, I forget which tune it was from DC, just the arrangement different. Same chords, same everything. He just totally
Tweak
changed
it.
it around. And I was like, oh
He
fuck.
did that with a couple of ATDC songs. He
Yeah.
did it with another song on 84 too. He goes, they just slowed it down.
Yep.
and changed a couple of chord progressions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
His son said that Edward, his dad's favorite AC/DC album was Powerage.
Yeah.
Well, it's classic.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Classic. Well, he's definitely into, I think, the Bon Scott era.
Yeah.
Obviously, more than.
Right.
Yeah.
Though I think one of the songs from '84 he said he stole was a Johnson. Like Back in Black or something. I think it was that song.
Back in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so.
Top Jimmy or what's the other one? Like a
Dead Legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he put his little fills in there and make it his. But yeah, so that's back out there on YouTube. The guy put together some good stuff. But I have a couple other things. I think we should probably discuss the
Donnington.
The Donnington Van Halen. I was trying to look. Oh, here's something else. Glenn Hughes said recently that he was considered for Van Halen before Sammy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never heard that.
Wow.
That
Me
wouldn't-
neither.
I don't know if that would have been that bad.
Yeah.
Oh no, that would have
Guy's
been
got
great.
some pipes.
He said he
Wow.
was just too messed up. Like he was out of
Right.
it.
I wonder if they would have had him play bass too.
Oh,
Hughes.
Oh, yeah.
didn't even
Yeah,
think of
instead
that.
Yeah, because Hughes is a great bass player.
And Eddie, I think
We
he
know they
loves
want
purple too. That's,
huge purple.
Oh,
fan.
yeah.
I'm going to talk about it later.
And
Like,
we know they are trying to push Anthony out anyways.
Which I have no reason. I don't understand why
what's that?
they were trying to push Michael Anthony out. He was like
see,
one of
yeah.
the greatest
Oh,
bass
that's
players.
right. We were texting each other on that. Like
And one of the nicest freaking guys in the world. It's like, well, how can you have a problem with that guy?
that's what it was in that documentary, that tape archives. They talked about that they wrote him like you're no longer going to get profits from touring or blah blah blah. And I was like,
Well, why does Alex?
well, they're saying he wrote the
He didn't write anything.
well, he wrote the drums.
Well, Michael wrote the bass lines, right?
Well, I don't know. That's what they're saying. But yeah, no, I don't agree with it either. And then I think it all changed when Sammy got in the band. I think he went back to
Sammy wasn't going to tolerate that
Right.
yeah.
nonsense, He took over that band leadership wise.
Oh yeah, it needed it.
Yeah. And he brought them to another level of success. Some
Yeah.
might say, hey, they sold out a little bit and got commercial, but hey,
Yeah. Yep.
he was a businessman.
Yep. So I think it was last weekend that the Pro Shot Donnington
That didn't stay up
1984
long,
tour.
yeah.
What's that?
It didn't stay up long.
It didn't stay up, but other people were putting it back up on other accounts. So
Yeah.
I ended up when it first got taken down. I watched like 3 songs, and then it got taken down, and I was like, shit. So when it popped back up again, I was like, all right, I got to watch this whole thing. So
I don't understand what the harm is in people watching that. Why is that coming down? They're not losing any money by having that up. I can go and pull up Motley Crue Theater of Pain live 1986 on YouTube, watch the whole entire concert.
why would you do
What's
that?
the difference?
Well, who's
Yeah. No, but
No, I know what
they
you mean.
don't care if they got live music out
who's
there.
pulling it down though? I mean,
Like,
specifically.
supposedly Alex.
Oh,
does want
okay.
this stuff
Right.
out there.
It's not Dave. It's Alex.
I don't think Dave cares.
Yeah, I don't think Dave cares.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
I don't either. I know that Michael Anthony recently said that he's found a ton of footage of old video and audio and everything that's great quality.
Well, my biggest question is who had that to
Well,
post
that's what
it?
I mean. Like, how'd that get out?
Somebody had that in their possession
Someone uploaded it to YouTube.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
And the other thing is, the whole concert's shot from the side of the stage, right?
Yep.
Some editing issues in there and some
You can see him
sound.
doing chapter cuts.
And they're doing that stuff. But there's a Hot for Teacher video straight on from that concert. Where's the rest of that footage?
That was from that other documentary, that thing I sent you. That other interview I sent you guys. some European guy who was doing an interview with that
But I would
concert.
assume that they
Gray
got the whole
whistle
concert.
test.
Yeah, they've got.
There was a
That's out
guy
there.
right in a pit with a camera.
Yeah.
So that's filmed from multiple angles.
Yeah. It's out there,
And it's just, I'm not
and
sure.
it sounded good.
I
So-
think it's one of the best
It was
videos
clear, too.
I've seen.
The quality, the
Yeah.
video was...
Because
pretty
you
clear.
felt like you were like you had a
Backstage
backstage
pass.
pass.
That's where I
I-
watched the Monsters of Rock with Sammy up in Maine from that side of the stage, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, like, who gets that view? You know?
Yeah. So anything? One thing I was just blown away at was I didn't know Michael Anthony played keyboards on that tour. Did you?
Yeah, he plays
Or was
on
it-
I'll Wait. He plays on
And
Jump.
and Jump.
And both, yeah, both.
I couldn't find Jump on it. I was jumping around in the video, but I tried to find
Towards
where
the
they
end,
played
I
that.
think. I think it was towards the end.
I don't
right?
even remember.
But yeah, I agree with you. I didn't realize that. I thought he played the bass.
There was no bass. Oh, I watched Jump.
Well, he
It's
played
on there.
keys on the Woman and Children first tour. There's a keyboard up there, which got all the
with the
bombs around it and
bomb,
everything,
yeah.
and he's playing keys.
not
I
Ed?
think he plays the keys on
Cradle of Rock.
Cradle Will Rock,
Yeah,
because they just played the guitar part.
but then he must go into the bass. That was
No,
the one-
I think
so
he plays the
He
whole
was
thing on
standing
it.
at the keys with no bass on.
right.
And so Dave
Singing.
and Ed's on the other side on keys, and Dave's the only one out on the stage. I'm like, I've never seen that.
Unless
footage.
he had some like a sequence that's playing bass.
Well, he was
lines.
playing bass on the
Yeah.
on the keys, but then he goes off and does other parts.
Yeah.
But I've never seen footage of that
I didn't even know he played keyboards.
either.
I mean, I saw him do that Credible Rock, but it might have been the sections of the din 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 din
Yeah.
din. You know, I don't know how that, because that was recorded with a piano, right? Through a Marshall.
Yeah, yep.
I
So
think-
Eddie probably didn't play the guitar live.
Yeah.
And had Michael Anthony play that part.
It's crazy.
I didn't think it was their finest moment, like in terms of like it was the video itself and seeing them play was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is like some of that '84 music. All I kept thinking is, what's Angus Young doing right now on the side of the stage, watching these guys play two like keyboard sets going, doing Jump. Oh, you know, like it just,
Well,
you know what I mean?
They were getting.
You're at a
hitting their
Monsters
pop era,
yeah, yeah.
where
I mean, we analyzed that at the Van Halen when we did our special, and you know, I think we all agreed that '84, in terms of the full catalog, was probably one of
The bottom.
the bottom.
That,
Yeah,
that and
yeah,
Diver.
yeah.
Yeah, and some of Dave's antics on stage on that are a little bit like he's trying to break dance across the stage.
Oh, the breakdancing part was fun.
It's
Well-
like, and it wasn't even good.
Right. But so Eddie Trunk was talking about the thing, and he was like, oh, you know, Dave's antics and, you know, this and that, they could be playing more songs. And I'm like, there's always been those antics. Like, why
Right.
would you
Right.
expect anything else?
I don't think maybe the first album because they didn't have the production. The guy came out and sang. But, I mean, from like Woman and
Fair
Children
warning.
on,
Yeah.
he was doing everything out there.
Oh, yeah. Like the whole, in the you know, holding the mic and looking at the crowd, and the crowd's screaming and hollering and
He
everything.
acts surprised.
And he acts surprised, and like Eddie Trunk was dissing on that, going, "Oh, come on, it's silly and all this." But I just heard an interview with Greg Renoff and Steve Vai, and Steve Vai said one of the biggest surprises to him was when they went out on the Eat 'Em and Smile tour, was when they stopped and Dave held the mic out to the crowd. He goes, "Billy and I were just in awe that they would
The
just
response.
keep screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming."
Yeah.
And
And then he'd like turn back to look at the drummer like, can you believe how loud this is? I mean, it was a gimmick.
It's a-
but
it's
a
sold.
show.
When
It
you're
was a
16
show.
years old, you buy into everything going on, right?
yeah.
But the other point that Trunk made was like, you got to understand the perspective in the sense of when this was being filmed.
He's doing this in
Yeah,
84.
right. He's already working on his solo album. Like, you know, like the
Crazy from the
California Girls or
Right.
Crazy from the Heat, right? All these dynamics are happening that are behind, like, you know, like Eddie hates them right now on that stage,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they're at the,
Yeah,
this
nobody
was
knew
the
though
end.
then.
No, we didn't know, but
Yeah.
you know, But I mean, it was awesome. I mean, you know, in the music, obviously, it's just I don't think some of those '84 tune. I was like, Hot for Teacher. Like I was like, it's all right. You know, but
I mean,
like
the best
compared
song
to
in
that,
that whole show is probably On Fire, right? They do On
oh
Fire.
yeah. They opened up with Unchained,
And
obviously.
Unchained, so
and-
they got some of those heavier
Yeah.
classics in there.
When Eddie is in front of the PA playing little guitars and he looks back to the stage, he's got the biggest smile. I was just like, fuck, that guy's gone. Like, it was just such a...
You noticed Neil Sean on the side of the stage?
Well, let's get to the ending. Well, yeah, Neil Sean also at the end. Did you watch all the silent stuff?
Yeah,
at
it was
the
all
end?
silent.
Still amazing. Like, Eddie is sitting in the trailer and he's looking at a magazine or something. I'm like...
Yeah, and he's thumbing through it.
But he's very in
Like
tune to it.
like a kid.
Like, he's looking at it... Yeah, he's
Like a
wants to
kid reading
know-
a comic book.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is he looking at? And then he does the same thing for an album. He's holding an album.
He's looking at like the
grooves
the
and
grooves
the-
with Entwistle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think he was?
He was kind of a strange, eccentric dude, which we never knew then.
Yeah.
We just thought he was the coolest freaking guy on the planet.
Right.
But I think he was kind of an introvert, didn't know how to really act around people when he was off stage. I think that's where a lot of the drinking came from, so he
Yeah.
kind of can come
Yeah,
out of his
right.
shell, kind of a shy guy. You know, you see him on Howard Stern. He come in, he was walking around the studio and touching things, and he wouldn't sit down.
Well,
and-
he's out of it. Yeah,
just a
he's
little
probably-
out of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Eddie was complaining about the solos too, and I'm like, they've always done. He goes, like in the second song, they jump into Al's solo, and I'm like, they've always done Al's solo in the beginning.
Yeah, I saw that tour.
Like,
Second song in.
yeah, that's what they do.
Why is he tearing something apart that's 40 years old? It's like, that's the way it was, man, back then.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, he didn't go see Van Halen concert when he was in the 80s?
he did, and he used to complain about it, but that was the show. That was the show
Right.
of all shows. But yeah, anyways, I don't know.
I think the interview, the other video, which was an interview, where they were interviewing the bands, or they were the guy was walking around the crowd or whatever.
Yep.
I thought that was equally it was interesting because he came in, he got in front of Dave and Alex. They're sitting on the couch.
That was funny.
And I was getting
Never
ready,
watched that
and
one yet.
all I
saw
kept
you
thinking,
sent it, but-
well, all I kept thinking is like, oh, be careful, Dave, because he asked him, he's like, so, AC/DC, what was that?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think you're better than AC/DC?
Oh, is that when he's on the couch with Alex?
Yeah, shouldn't you
Oh,
be
yeah, I saw
top
that.
bill or whatever? And I'm like, oh, Dave, be careful, because this is AC/DC country
Land.
right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know the way Edward felt. Edwards wouldn't be bad. I don't care
No.
if he's out of his mind. He's not bashing AC/DC. You know?
No.
I don't think Dave did, but you know,
No.
he was just being Dave.
And they,
you know?
they know that band's legendary, and they
Yeah.
were influenced by them, and they were playing their songs in the bars.
Yeah.
It's not like
Right.
some band he's not familiar with, or, you know, because back in the day, he would never mention another band to give you the
Dave used to always. What did he used to say? What was his
the
line?
guy in.
Yeah,
Like,
the-
instead of saying Janie Lane from Warrant, you go, the guy in Warrant, because they're not that, they're so,
yeah.
you know, they're not that good, or they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not that popular. I don't even remember his name.
Yeah.
He knew his name. But he wants to come across like, oh, yeah, the guy in Cinderella there, or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just smart, you know,
Yeah.
to make you feel like you're a spirit of those bands and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you can get away with that with AC/DC, but
No.
and what album are they on?
Was that Flick?
No.
Yeah, it
it's
must
the
have been
next one.
Flick of the Switch. I saw that tour in '83.
Next one
No,
was Fly on the
Fly
Wall.
on the Wall.
That was '85.
Oh, so
They
then it
must
was
have.
Flick
Well,
of the Switch.
Donnington was probably these bands finished tours and went. Like Van Halen was done '84 tour. They put the production back on the road. Essentially,
Had to be
play that.
Flick because
Flick of the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good album. We should talk about it.
We should talk about that.
But yeah, it's just great that stuff's coming out, and pictures of like Eddie and just old photos of reappearing, and
No, the thing is, back then, if you didn't go see the concert, all you saw them as magazines, right? You had to go buy the magazines, the circus and that. Here, you're actually seeing what you saw in the magazines happen live.
Yeah.
Like, wow, here's Eddie actually wearing those pants with that shirt and playing the little guitar. And it's like,
Right.
wow,
Yep.
that's actually him doing it. It's not a photo in a magazine.
That video to me, concert actually helped, in my opinion, promote Michael Anthony more so, in the sense that maybe because the camera is right on him, but you just see how much of a big piece he was to that band vocally. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, we know Edward's the greatest.
Well, it's
Alex is
that,
great. Dave is Dave. But, man, you really, I think anyone outside of us that is a casual fan of Van Halen, I think you walk away going, wow, that bass player is pretty damn good, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked.
Put on a show.
Oh yeah, I asked Greg on Twitter, and because I didn't remember in his book if he talked about it, did they in the club days have those harmonies that they had on Van Halen 1, or was that something that Ted brought out in them? And he said they were doing it, but Ted definitely enhanced it. And then I saw another interview the other day, and I forget who they were talking about, but they were talking about the Doobie Brothers, Ted Templeman, and Van Halen. He goes, listen to those two albums in that same genre, in that same time, timestamp, and there are a lot of the same types of harmonies going on. Like Ted kind of broke at all those type of things.
Wow.
Which is, and I said that before. I think Ted created. Van Halen was there, all the structure was there, everything, but I think he
gave them their identity.
He put the bow on it and really freaking made it who it was. So. All right, nothing else. It's a long-winded news there for us.
Yeah.
Get into the albums. The albums are Rainbow, Bent Out of Shape, AC/DC, Flick of the Switch, Cheap Trick, Next Position, Please.
Danny, pick one.
That's what she said.
Let's get Cheap Trick out of the way.
All right.
Well, it's just a short little EP.
Jeez, a crow. 16 songs on that?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know
holy crap.
I tried to find the story of why it is so freaking long.
Ugh.
I don't know. It's long. You guys ever seen Cheap Trick?
No.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've seen them. It's a fun show. They're a
Yeah.
good show. I mean, how can you knock Bunny? You got to watch Bunny.
Bunny Gallows.
He was awesome. I saw them in '88 spring break down in Florida, in Daytona.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, outside on this band shell, Billy Tolan and I. I think it was '88. Had to have been. It was really good. But
They've been around for a long time.
oh yeah.
Mid-70s, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Let me get their bio up here.
Rolling Stone dumped all over this album with a quote that said, "Next producer, please," instead of "next position."
Yeah, Todd Rundgren was the producer.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah.
that on there.
But yeah, it didn't get a lot of praise from Rolling Stone.
And they're from Illinois. You don't see a lot of rock bands coming out of... well, didn't enough come out of Chicago? And a couple of bands,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say about the band
Sure. Well,
album?
I mean, the album just, some generalities here. U.S. number 61. So it didn't really... the Billboard wasn't that successful. The 7th release.
The
Yo.
album cover looks like a little rip-off of that Bruce Springsteen.
Well,
album.
that was...
They actually said that.
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I'm just looking
Yeah.
at it here going, wait a minute.
If you're, one of my favorites is In Color from them. It's more of a rockier, rock album, 1970. This is far from that. And, as Derek pointed out, the producer, Todd Rundgren, Rundgren has a reputation like Jeff Lynne. Jeff Lynne's another one of those guys where they take the album and almost like they make it almost like try to sound like the bands they were in, like Jeff Lynne, ELO. Todd Rundgren, Utopia. So I kind of agree with that Rolling Stone statement, or what they're making fun of it, because I don't think that Cheap Trick used to work with Tom Werman. We know what Tom Werman's all about. You know what I mean? I think that if Werman was on this, you'd probably see more of a rockier, more.
Yeah, I mean, he did Motley Crue.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got some experience with some of the harder.
Yeah, and we've said this over and over again in these podcasts, that don't underestimate the producer and the impact that person has.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like,
that a million times.
Here's a new album. Okay, who's the producer?
Yeah.
And before you even listen to a song, where it's going to be going.
They'll make or break a band, right?
Yeah.
You got the wrong guy in there.
And all the songs were written by Rick Nielsen.
He wrote all of them?
Yep.
Because I see some of them here. They don't have any credits to who's singing these things or writing them.
I think if you're on Wikipedia and the top one is Rick.
Right. Other than the...
well, I mean, I got I don't love here anymore. There's writers, nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah, Nielsen. Where it's on the, like you got a couple songs here where people get co-credit, like Bunny Carlos.
Bunny.
And then there's they got a cover song too, which we'll talk about soon. But
All right.
Let's start it.
Oh, one last thing, Derek, if I may. Bass player is not Tom Peterson.
What?
Who was the original bass player. He left in 1980.
Oh,
so he's been gone for a couple albums here. John Brandt.
I was looking at the cover going, is that Peterson?
Right. So Brandt, this
him.
guy came in, and he was in the band from 82 to 87.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Mark's got an important call. Hold on. Who is that? Is that your agent?
I don't know that number.
All right. You want to get in it?
Yeah.
I can't take it.
I got cheesy poppy 80s song, forgettable track. I didn't really care for that track.
Dennis?
yeah, same here.
Wow.
Poppy, nothing here. I thought it was kind of boring.
Poppy compared to
Well,
DC,
yeah. I mean,
but-
they are poppy kind of big.
right. I mean,
But
so
I didn't think the songwriting was great.
I thought it was right in their wheelhouse. I wrote good tune, good flow, classic,
Really?
Cheap Trick, good opening riff. Actually, it's actually a heavy riff, but it's just not beefed up.
Yeah.
And I said any of the bands that we liked in the '80s could have covered this, and we probably would have liked it. Like
I think
the guitar playing and
production,
everything.
too, was a little thin.
Yeah.
I think the whole album it was kind of didn't have a lot of meat on the bone. If you know what I mean. You like that one? That's what she said.
Oh, hey. All right, Borderline. Not to be confused with Madonna's
Right.
Borderline. Isn't that bad? That's
So faster tempo. I thought the guitar sound was a little strange. Is there a keyboard solo in this, or was that actually Nielsen's guitar sound? Or did
I think it was his tone on his guitar.
Really?
I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll listen again. But
there was horn section over the solo.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe that's what it was.
yeah, that's what I wrote. I expected him in the solo actually to rip into something because it was a little bit of a more upbeat tune, like you said, but he didn't really do that. There's a little repeating riff that I thought was pretty cool that he was doing. And it's just, I think it's their distinctive sound. Sounds like Cheap Trick.
And I get it sounded like a Roy Orbison type of track.
They have that.
That kind of
They have that shuffle.
twangy, shuffly kind of thing
Yep.
going on.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Derek, we have 16 of these fucking things to get through. Let's get through them. I don't love Here anymore.
I didn't think this was too bad. Chorus, classic chorus, Cheap Trick. I don't know why I said Beatles-like. I don't know.
I wrote the same thing.
Yeah, Beatles-like, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah, I don't like this song. Too wimpy. Just too
Yeah.
wimpy for me.
Yeah. Wrote good groove with a little riff. Very Beatles-esque. And then I said a lot of his riffs, if they were grunged up and turned to 11, they would be heavy stuff. But they just don't do that. All right. Next position, please.
Well, this one here, I said almost had like a Who vibe to it.
Yeah, they're a bit. Yeah, I thought the vocals were like Daltrey.
Yeah, I was like, this sounds
Yeah.
like Who.
Yeah, well,
And kind of Beatles-ish too, like the other one. Kind of just that era, maybe late 60s. Well, the Beatles more like their 70s kind of trippy, they're...
They used to
Lucy
be
in
a-
the Sky, that era.
their big influence was the Who.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can
They,
definitely
Robin
hear it
Zander
now.
has claimed that.
You can definitely hear signs of
But
that.
the other thing too, Derek Mark, this is a Dream Police, a Dream Police album. This is a demo from that.
Oh,
That
really?
I brought over. So you're going to hear maybe some of that older sound
Yep.
coming through here, and then of course you got the glossy production that Rundgren is going to do. But yeah, that came from that material.
Nice. All right. Moving on. Young girls.
Yeah, the only thing I had on that was kind of bland again. The songwriting wasn't that strong. The thin guitar mix and the drum mix was just sucky. They just didn't have a good mix. Production. So I think that hurts these songs even more. If the songs aren't strong and they don't have, a good, production, it almost makes it even worse. For me, anyway.
I just wrote Bunny kicking it off. And I always like Bunny because he looks like he's sitting at the kitchen table.
Looks like an
upright,
accountant.
an accountant playing the drums at his desk. And then I said Robbie sounds a little like Mick. Matter of fact, I thought it was him at first.
Mick who? Jagger?
Mick Jagger. But sounded good.
Yep, nothing to add. Classic Cheap Trick.
Yep. Don't make our love a crime. So I have a bonus track written here. I don't know if...
Yeah, I didn't. Cassette and CD only.
Oh, right. That's what they did.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
So
We
I'm
can
gonna
skip
have
it.
to. Whatever you guys.
What'd you do? You pulled out your
YouTube.
LP?
No, I
And,
didn't. Yeah, album, vinyl.
All right, moving on then. We'll go to 3D.
Weird.
I didn't
If,
comment on that last.
Oh, you did?
yeah. Go.
Okay. Sorry,
I
Mark.
got,
Go ahead.
I'm done
mic's all
commenting
yours.
on this band.
Oh,
That's what I put.
we're only at...
All right, we're not even halfway through.
Let's go.
Right.
3D.
Strange effects on this one.
Yeah.
The sound.
Yeah.
Bunny co-writing on this
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He did. Yep.
with Rick. I said I'm not a fan.
No.
I said it was a decent track, but once again, it would be better with a thicker sound. The guitar is so thin. The songs need more weight,
Well, Bunny co-wrote it, dude.
And it's weird because isn't Rundgren a guitar player?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean, you got a guitar player producing an album
Right.
with weak guitar.
Yacht rock.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Next one. This is another bonus track, so you won't have it, Dennis. Yo, yo, yo.
Oh yeah, I did hear this one.
Well, I skipped the you talk too much. You probably don't have that.
Nope.
Okay, so yo, yo, yo. Yo.
I got lame.
I said not a fan. Next.
No, the ballad. Yeah.
Won't take no for an answer. Won't take no for an answer. Yet next position, please. These are kind of
Yeah, really.
wow.
Won't take no for an answer. Drums, I thought, sounded kind of strange, but obviously a pop song. This is power pop, is what this is. Changes tempo to classic Trick, Cheap Trick.
Yep.
So it.
Right.
strange guitar sound again, but
Yeah.
that's Nielsen.
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time getting through these songs. There's just no elements of this music I like. I was never a huge Cheap Trick fan anyway. I mean, some of the radio-friendly songs are all right. Like you mentioned, Dream Police and whatever, and that Budokan stuff. I don't know. I just don't think the writing is that great on this album.
You're more of a...
And I think, why do you need 16 songs? Maybe you're stretching yourself out a little too thin here.
Right.
Why not write 10 and really focus on making them good?
I think if you went back and looked at the earlier albums for Cheap Trick, you probably appreciate them a little bit more.
Saying.
Like I think the In Color, like I remember buying that as an album, and Southern Girls, yeah, that's a great tune. It's got like a heavier
safe to
guitar.
Say that these are a lot of these 70s bands in the mid 80s trying to find a place and how to transition into the times.
That's why
Some
Werman
get it,
was
some
out
don't.
and Rundgren was in. To try to do that. But yeah, no, I agree. And then when you look at where this band went in the 80s, right? Like, remember MTV? What was that?
The Flame.
Oh, The Flame.
Yeah, I mean, that
It's
was a huge hit. That was a
yeah,
good song.
but, right. Yeah, but
But like Foreigner, I think transitioned pretty good from the 70s to the 80s.
Yeah.
Not all bands, I think, can do it, because they're so different. The 70s and the 80s. Musical landscapes are so friggin' different.
Yeah, well,
these bands have to change everything.
It was like the bands in the 80s trying to transition to the 90s.
Yeah.
And you could hear it, and they're
Forced.
it was
Like Motley trying to do a grungy album, and it's just stop. Just be who you are.
So I went back. I don't know why I did this, but I went back and listened to the album Warrant put out after Dog Eat Dog. I don't even know what it was called. But you could tell Janie was just totally ripping off writing like he was in the 90s. Just,
and no
you
one
could
could
just hear it.
that,
I'm like,
buy into that.
and so I guess it's the same thing you're talking about, right? The 70s trying to come into the 80s.
Right. What was the one Motley song they did? It was terrible.
It was Off of Swine. It was,
Ugh.
yeah, awful. They don't play it live. All right. I won't take no for an answer. I thought it sounded a lot like Talking Heads, which was odd. I was like, oh my god, it sounds like a Talking Heads tune.
right.
But
Well, it's that same time era.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Heaven's Falling.
Cheese Fest.
I wrote albums too long.
Yeah, yeah. This
Where's
Todd
my
Run.
noose? That's what I wrote. Where's my noose?
This is Rundgren's song too. He wrote this.
Oh, jeez.
Did anyone allow him to produce another album after this?
I don't know.
I would have locked the door and took the keys. You're not getting in here.
That's right.
Invaders of the Heart.
I said the best part of this song is the 14 between 14 seconds and 22 seconds.
What was that?
Nothing. It was silence.
So I did.
The song kicks in, and then at 14 it stops till 22. There's nothing,
Huh. And then it starts
and
again?
then it starts.
I don't
up
even
again.
remember
I said,
that.
wow, that's the best part of the album right there.
So this is back to your Who
Yes.
reference.
Oh,
This one, Invaders of the Heart.
The chords, the
I
My
wrote-
Generation.
I wrote, people try to put us down. The
There you
Who.
go.
right.
You
There
guys
you go.
are on
Yep.
the same page.
Yeah.
This is their this is their nod to the Who. Yep.
But I did write underneath that I don't really care for it.
No.
Yeah. Is that it?
I don't know. Is that it?
No. I'm on page 6 here. Flip that over.
Yeah.
Twisted Heart. Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, Twisted Heart.
Oh, wait a minute. I got something above it.
Right?
Bunny Carlos playing some good drum stuff on this track.
That was
Is that left over from...
probably the one I said Bunny.
That might be Invaders of the Heart. Was there good drumming in that?
I don't remember. Could have been if they
Must
were
have
doing a
flipped it
little
over and
Who.
wrote it. Yeah, so that must
influence.
be part of that song. All right.
Do you have Twisted Heart, Dennis?
Nope.
How about Don't Hit Me With Love?
I have Twisted Heart, but now I'm looking at the
What
album.
are you guys looking at? The remastered version?
Yeah.
We're
Re-release.
all screwed up here
That's
on the
all right. You and I
podcast.
can talk about those.
Yeah,
two
go
songs.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, next.
Well, I said departure from their typical poppy stuff. Okay track, Xander good on this track.
Huh. I didn't have anything.
And Don't Hit Me With Love.
Yep.
I said, okay track, I guess. Acquired taste.
It seemed like these songs at the end were just fillers to me. You say Jump?
No, I didn't.
I wrote too many songs.
Yeah, I got awful. What the?
Then you got Dancing the Night Away.
Dancing the Night Away.
That was a cover song.
Awful.
Yeah.
I wrote bad cover.
Awful.
Yeah.
That's a cover of who?
I think it's like a 60s band. Yeah.
So,
Right.
all right. Well, we gotta say what you will. Does it hold up? Would you put it on the way home?
No.
No. Sorry,
Are they in the Rock and Roll Hall
Cheap
of Fame?
Trick fans.
I think they are.
Look it up.
Yeah.
They
no
could be.
idea.
I mean, they had a huge
Yeah.
string of hits and albums success. And again, I think they're awesome live, and they're still going.
Yeah, they are. 2016.
Yeah.
They're still around, right?
Oh yeah,
They still big?
they're touring. So, their sons play in the band. Like,
Right.
I forget who plays what, but
Drums.
I think there's two of them in the band.
Oh, really?
Whose kid plays drums?
Well, isn't it Niels? I thought Nielsen's kid. And,
Bunny Nielsen?
No, Rick's kid I thought played bass, and
I thought Ringo. Where's Ringo Starr's kid? It's Zach Starkley or something like that. Isn't he a
that's his.
drummer?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's in this band.
Okay, I do know.
Yeah.
one-
Cheap Trick?
Yeah. Hold on a minute. I'll
All
look this up.
We know this stuff. We're on it. I do know that they had one of the kids was filling in the band. I know when Bunny left.
No, drummer is Dax Nielsen.
Yeah.
Rick's kid.
Yep. But he may have done a
He might
tour
have
with him.
Toured with him. I'm looking now. I don't
Dennis.
see anything
Let
on
me
that.
see where.
Nothing.
Tom Peterson's back.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. He left in 80 and didn't come back till 87.
That's kind of what Dennis said.
I thought he left right up before the 83 album, but he must have.
No. He said he left
He was
earlier.
gone for a while.
Yep.
But he's been in since 87 again.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Dak Nielsen been in it for
He was on Stern
13
one time,
years?
Yeah. All right, and I don't know what happened with Bunny. Like, I don't know what the fallout was, or
I think he just got sick of touring.
could be. Who knows? We should have looked this up before.
He's 73 years old.
Who?
Bunny Carlos.
Bunny?
Real name Brad M. Carlson.
Bunny. With a cigar or a cigarette hanging out. Didn't he always have a cigarette hanging out of his mouth?
Someone else did too. Wasn't the mouth though?
Little inside joke.
We're
Zach-
real inside.
So Zach's in the Who.
Oh, the Who. Okay.
Ringo Starr's kid,
okay.
drummer.
Yeah.
He's our age, and he's in the. So just sorry, we're kind
How
of
easy
getting
it is
off
for
the.
guys like that to get in these bands.
Yeah,
and your
he's
father
playing with the Who.
Ringo Starr. And
He was in
Rick
Oasis
Nielsen.
too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyways,
All right.
sorry.
Next album. What do you want?
Want
pick.
to Rainbow?
Sure.
Rainbow. Rainbow. Jimbo? Jimbo?
Deep Blue?
Why don't I have... So, I don't have anything written about this album. So it's up to you guys.
What? You didn't do it?
No, I did the songs, but I don't have anything,
Oh, on the album.
any background or anything like that.
So this was
Up in Wick.
their final studio album.
I'll have some chips.
You got it. Final studio album. Glover's the producer.
You produced a lot of...
So the lineup: Blackmore, Glover, bass, percussion, producer. Jolyn Turner is your vocalist.
Yeah.
David Rosenthal is on the keys. Chuck Burgi is on drums. U.S. This album was 34 on the Billboard. UK 11.
Wow.
Crossover album, critics said, going from that hard rock, Deep Purple to more AOR. This was an attempt to get
like we talk about Blackfoot, right?
Yep.
Trying to find a place.
Right, that's what they were doing here. They were getting more, more like, let's go be Journey now. Let's try to be Journey.
More production, more keyboards.
Yep. There's 2 instrumentals on this album, which will.
Well, I wanted to bring a point up about that. Does being a legendary guitarist or a whatever make you a virtuoso? I don't think so, right? I wouldn't call Richie Blackmore a Jimi Hendrix or a Randy Rhoads or an Eddie Van Halen, or you know what I mean? But yet he's putting his neck out there and putting instrumentals on albums. I don't know if he's got the clout for that. He's not Steve Vai. You expect that from guys that are just accomplished musicians, right? And I think he's a great songwriter.
I think it's a matter of opinion,
Right, he's not a shredder.
I'm not. No, but what I'm saying is, like, I agree with what you're saying, but you're talking about an egomaniac here.
Well, and I think that's why that stuff is
and
made
immediately 2 instrumentals. That's his band, right? He's calling the shots.
Yeah, and I don't know if he qualifies for that. I just don't think he's got the chops or just that.
Right.
He's not that kind of guitar player to me. Like Angus Young. I love the guy. He's legendary. He never threw a solo on an album in the last 50 years. You know why? Because it's not his. Not saying he couldn't put a solo, but when you do a solo, it's got to be something beyond.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Blackmore came from more not just the blues, but more from like the classical end of things as well. So when you hear a lot of his solos, it's layered that way, and he's a very and I think that that's what he tries to do in some of these songs.
I don't think he captured that though. I don't think you don't listen to these solos and go, wow, like you listen to Eruption, or you listen to Randy Rhoads. Didn't he have a couple of solos?
Yep.
And there's something there like, wow, this, or Yngwie.
Right.
I mean, I'm listening to this going, sounds like a guy just playing guitar.
Well, it's ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
think Dennis was saying that you were wrong. I think he was just saying you're not right.
Oh. Well, no, I think he agrees these songs are there not because of his virtuosity or great guitar playing. Like you said, he was just the leader of this thing.
Oh, that's right.
I'm putting this on there.
Like you're telling me that those 2 instrumentals, that there aren't 2 other songs that they wrote that they could have used instead of that.
And
I mean, I probably like Blackmore.
you could pull
more
any
than
guitar
you do,
player to come in and play those instrumental tracks.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh my God, Steve Vai or Joe Satriani. He's the only guy that can play this.
He wasn't pushing the envelope.
Anybody could have played. He just didn't do anything spectacular.
Or anything.
Be doing instrumentals.
Right.
Or anything new.
Nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like, Eddie, with every album, there was something new.
New and fresh.
Something,
and how's he
some
doing
nugget.
that?
Like,
what is that?
when Cathedral came, it was like, what?
Nobody knew how he was
Spanish
doing that.
Fly. Like, that's Eddie? Like,
Anyway, you figured it out. You went to the concert. Oh, he's on the volume knob, turning it up and down.
Right.
Right. What Richie Blackmore doing? There's no one going, how's he doing that? It's more like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
And I love Richie Blackmore. Believe me. I love Deep Purple. I love all that stuff. I'm not putting him down as a musician. I'm just saying I don't think
he falls in the instrumental category.
I don't think he's that kind of guy.
And if this is a crossover album, which it's obvious when we review the songs what they're trying to attempt to do here. It's inconsistent having instrumentals. Why not try to have a couple pop songs in there?
Yeah, why don't you work more on getting a hit?
Right.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Stranded.
So you got the Deep Purple keys here, I thought. Rosenthal. The lead to the solo, I thought, is kind of cool, where it's a kind of a build up. I was, nah,
Yeah, I mean, this song comes in at 4 minutes and 28 seconds.
Yeah.
Your opening track, which I think your opening track should get in and get out, right? Set a tone for the album. This song just goes on. It sounds like another 70s rock band trying to fit into the 80s poppier landscape at the time. Turner's vocals are great, to be expected. He's in his prime on that era, right?
Right.
I didn't think the guitar tone was great on the track, but the solo was signature Richie. That's one thing about him. When it's him.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, track.
I wrote Joe's vocals. And I said, damn, he can sing. But sometimes it's like too perfect for me.
Right.
It's just...
well, they just probably worked on it to death in the studio. And, Blackmore's kind of a perfectionist.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Starts off typical Blackmore riff, felt like that. Tempo change in the chorus with the guitar, I loved. And gang vocal at the end, the gang vocal chorus, I think it's towards the end, was Stranded. Was simple, but a good riff heading into the solo. I think actually you talked about going into the solo, Dennis. So.
Yeah. Right.
Good tune. Can't Let You Go.
I thought they had the silly church organ intro.
You know what that intro is? Go listen again.
And it went on for a while.
Bon Jovi ripped that off I think it's on New Jersey album. They entered their album the same way. Like, I can't think of the song. Yeah.
Lay Your Hands on Me.
Yeah. But it's like the same thing. I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah. You see the video for it?
Yeah, it's bad.
Fucking ridiculous.
What's it? Blackmore, Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera kind of thing. And then you see Turner come out of the closet. Blackmore opens it up. He looks like a corpse in there. His face is all white with a black gown on. He comes walking. It's so fucking bad.
I didn't see that.
No, you gotta watch it. But I don't remember this as a single. But they had a video, but I don't remember this song.
Let's see what else. So, I think it was a single, and it feels like they tried to capture Stone Cold a little bit with it.
Yep.
I wrote okay song, decent solo. I was never a fan of these "Baby I Love You" tunes, but I did write with all the keyboards on this. Eddie being a fan of Blackmore, Deep Purple, do you think like Eddie wanted to go in this direction? Like when he had Sammy, he had a real singer. I mean, we love Dave, but Sammy is a trained singer. And I was like, it feels like Van Halen and Eddie wants his writing to go the way of Blackmore with all these.
But I don't think as gothic.
Not as gothic. You're right.
How they go that route.
But I don't know. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I made that connection. That was just. I thought about it the whole album.
It's just hard because of his state of mind and the abuse. Like when you with drugs, because when you look at like that Van Halen 3 album with Sharon. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
he was already
gone. Yeah, so wasted that.
Life.
Like if he was like he was towards the end, a good frame of mind. He was relatively, not on drugs or anything anymore. What type of music he would make. You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe
probably-
it would have been with
They
the Keys.
wouldn't have wrote that album, I don't think. But look at the music landscape. There's another band going, what do we do?
Right.
And this, how do we fit in with Korn and Limp Bizkit and the other guys with the clown masks on and all that stuff that was starting to come in the late 90s, early. I mean, what's a band like Van Halen do? How do you fit into that?
Well,
I always thought, you're Van Halen. You do whatever you
whatever
do,
you want.
it's going to sell.
Different kind of truth, as we all know, was not them in the studio writing and creating new music. That was old, But so I don't know. I think you raise a good point, Derek. You know what? I don't know. When he went to the piano or the keyboard,
You go to OU812. There's so many there's some rock songs on there, but blah. And then that song that did for Twister, and then the song that I was like, these are all just wimpy.
Even Balance had some of that stuff.
Oh, Balance too, yeah.
But then he comes out with Unlawful Knowledge, and it's awesome.
Who produced that? That was Johns.
Andy Johns.
Johns.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin fame, right?
Yeah. So that's the outlier. But I don't know. I just was like, I wonder if was trying to go that way of.
Well, his guitar tone was
Blackmore.
getting way and far out there from album to album.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to some of the guitar tones in some of those 5150 songs. It's like, you don't have any distortion on it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. We're getting off
I
track.
had band searching for a hit. They almost got there, right? But I don't think the song gets there. And I thought the opening guitar intro when Blackmore comes in sound like Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that. Sounds
Yeah.
like that
I
song.
wrote.
You wrote that too?
Yeah, right here. Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, I had the same thing. And kind of rehashing Straight Through the Eyes songs. It sounds like it's kept trying to find, like you said, trying to find Stone Cold.
Yeah. All right. Fool for the Night.
Fast pace, chugging guitar. I mean, I thought the solo was decent, but I don't know. Not something that great song.
I got more bland, connect the dots, typical 80s rock, no originality. A dozen bands playing this type of rock then, right? They're all playing
Yeah.
this. They're all trying to, Jeffria, all these bands are out there. They're playing this crap.
It sounded like Goodbye to You from the Go-Go's. If you listen to it again.
Blackmore just not taking any chances,
No.
No. And you know what I hate? In the chorus of this, there's just the big hold on the chords. You know what I mean? There's no playing. It's the holding
Riding
the
out a
chord
note.
and the singing and
It's just boring.
yeah, totally boring.
And this is the third song in a row over 4. These aren't short songs.
Right.
I mean, anything over 3.5 minutes is stretching it, right?
Yep.
I mean, these are all 4:28, 4:18, 4:05. They haven't had a song yet under 4 minutes. And they sound like 40 minutes when they're crappy.
Right.
All right. Fire Dance.
If I could fire gin.
I was like, maybe a little bit better, but not great. Organ solo turns to the guitar solo. I thought I heard our keys, fast tempo. I don't know. Another miss, I think.
Oh, yeah. I said this should have been the
Yes.
opening song on the album. A little more up tempo. You got to come out of the gate.
Yeah.
And I could picture Ronnie Dio singing on this track. Had that feel, which helps he was in Rainbow. But that looked like something in his wheelhouse. Decent song. Pretty good keyboard solo in it. And Blackmore was good. But once again, we're at 4 minutes and 31 seconds on this album.
Holy
song.
smokes.
I mean, these songs are just long. Right.
I wrote keyboard solo into a ripping guitar solo.
Yeah, I thought that was good too.
Yep. Joe hitting some high notes at the end and a ripping guitar ending.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of Blue Murder. Had a Blue Murder feel, even though Blue Murder was after. But I just wrote great ending, great outro.
Yeah, one of the better songs on the album for sure.
So, here's the first instrumental. Anybody there?
Nah.
This was
No.
Nominated
Yeah, that's
for a
right.
Grammy in 1984.
What? On purpose?
Yep.
Who would even know this
For
existed?
best rock instrumental performance.
Ugh.
I don't know who won, but it wasn't this.
What year?
84. That's the other thing. Like this just aligns with well, it must have been the 84 awards for 2000 for 83.
83.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else. There must have been nothing out there.
But like this stuff plays into my Eddie stuff. I don't know. It just
No, just because there's nothing there earth-shattering, just pretty much typical Blackmore, just playing his guitar.
yeah.
You know, just, it could have been a solo in a song. Just
Yep.
there's nothing unique about it. You know.
All right, are we moving?
Yeah.
Yep.
Desperate Heart.
Oh, I said nothing screams at times more than the title of this song. Right? And then
Right.
Desperate. How like crap back in those days was like that. Some cheesy keyboard on this one. Just another vanilla 80s hardish rock song.
I like
I
this.
don't know,
I like the solo in it, his guitar solo.
Yeah.
You know, but
I wasn't a fan of the shuffling guitar. Like
Yeah.
I don't care for that. Joe carries a lot of these songs
He's
vocally.
great on all the tracks.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I don't like the little keyboard fills going into the pre-chorus.
cheesy.
The solo is way too loud in the mix. Everything is buried.
What'd that song come in at?
What is that?
4:35.
Wow.
Just drag on. The
All right.
shortest song was the instrumental and one other one. And everything else is 4 minutes.
Huh.
4
Right.
minutes.
All right. Sweet Dreams. Oh, Street
No,
Dreams.
Street Dreams.
Street Dreams. Sorry.
Well, obviously the single off the album.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably the best song on the album.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Catchy
Yeah.
chorus. I mean, it's just a classic song.
Love his bass, Glover. I mean, you can hear that boom, boom. You hear it
Yeah.
very prominent. And obviously, Joe. We've been saying
Yeah,
this,
it's
you know, just.
Classic.
Rainbow Template.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything comes together.
Yep.
Probably the shortest Blackmore solo on the album. Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
This song is 5 minutes and 56 seconds.
Get out.
Wow.
A
Wow.
6-minute song, which is rare for a single,
Yeah.
a hit on
They
the
must
radio.
have cut it.
They had to have
Right.
cut some of that out.
Yeah. All right. Drinking with the Devil.
What do we got? Yeah, good track. Like the chorus. Would also make a good opening track.
I wrote the same. Or a
Perfect.
show opener. Concert opener.
I think that's what I meant. Opening track to concert or
Yep.
evening album. And
Right.
I said the first song under 4 minutes.
Right.
3:44.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
a
that's good.
rocker for sure. I love the opening of the song.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
So
Yeah,
two in a row there they hit
I
on.
can't add any more what you guys said. Snowman.
I put cool guitar, but strange. This was over 4 minutes long. And then I wrote Pink Floyd down. Like,
Got that vibe.
yeah. I just thought it was kind of like weird in the way that the song was going. And
Yeah.
I thought it could be a film score. Like I've been hearing
Yeah.
a lot of score
Yeah.
stuff that Eddie did back in the
Right.
day, and I was like, this could be a film score of something.
Well, I already talked about this. It's just I question
20 of
if
favorites.
Blackmore is a virtuoso enough for instrumental tracks. I really not impressed with what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to be a showcase, right? supposed to big step out of your lane a little bit from what you're
Right.
doing on an
Right.
album and do something. And it's just like, it sounds like it's just a song and Joe Lynn Turner didn't sing on it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's going for. I don't know.
Right.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking instrumental. It's a Rainbow album, Blackmore. I'm expecting to hear some ripping or something going on.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Last song, 10th song, Make Your Move.
Well, I got another track under 4 minutes. 3:55, so they got a couple short ones. Nothing fresh here. Okay song. Just more rehash of the past Rainbow songs. Predictable. After the first verse, you pretty much
Yeah.
know where it's going.
Yeah.
I wrote coming in hot or going out hot. I don't know why I wrote that. Still his voice, freaking so polished.
Yeah, he's the best part of this album.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
Good chorus, rocking. So, all right. Say what you will. Hold up.
I'm going to say no.
No, I'm going to say no, just not enough.
There's not enough quality songs.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
One song is not enough for me. Well, there was another decent song, but
You had to look for it.
yeah.
It was a stretch. Like, all right, I think I like this one.
Right, because the rest of them are so bad, you got to try to like find the good in it. But I think this comes up short.
Yeah. All right. All right. So moving along to the third and final album. Again, all the albums came out in August of '83. You know, we don't get to pick and choose. It's what we're dealt, Dennis.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? Next month's got some good ones. All right, so the third and final is AC/DC, Flick of the Switch.
My first concert.
Oh, yeah? What do you remember? Where was it?
Worcester Central.
What do you remember?
I think I might have went to that.
I remember Fastway opened up.
Yep. Yep.
We were on the floor.
Yep.
Loud.
Oh, yeah.
Fastway was great. Yeah, they were on that first album, so they were,
Right.
Fast
Hungry.
Eddie Clark. And then, DC was great. Right before that transition, I think that next album, Fly on the Wall, they lost a little of that punch.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So this was kind of the end of that era of, for those about the rock, Back in Black. Flick of the Switch had more of that heavy grind.
Well, so,
Some would argue that it started here.
well,
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think it was-
saying
it could've,
I'm not.
it could've.
I'm not saying I don't like the album. I'm just saying.
no, well, a lot of people say that this was their back to the roots, heavy, dirty album because Back in Black and For Those About the Rock was so polished
Right.
that this one was more raw.
But they were heavy.
So the key things here, right? Well, 9th release, U.S. reached 15, UK number 4,
So,
but no Mutt Lange.
yeah.
They got rid of Mutt
Yeah,
Lange.
they did it themselves, right?
Yeah.
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 So it's funny you say.
No, Phil Rudd.
What'd you say? 11th release.
This is their 9th
Ninth.
release. Yeah.
So I heard an interview with Angus. Some guy goes, "So a lot of people say that all AC/DC albums just sound the same. Like your last 11 albums have all sound the same." And he goes, "I disagree." He goes, "This is the 12th album, and they all sound the same."
Who said that?
Angus, yeah.
Like it's true in that. Can you think of another band that when you hear the song,
No.
you know it? Like they are so recognizable.
Well,
Right.
it's like they wrote one long album from 1973, whatever. It's just one long album.
So you commented on Phil Rudd. Phil Rudd was fired midway through these recordings.
Yeah, who picked up the slack there? Was it
Simon Wright?
Simon Wright?
Yep.
Now,
Drummer.
the production here is a story, right? You know, the production in the previous releases was like you heard that big sound. I forget who said more of a stripped down, back to the basics, raw sound. That's what
Back to
what
the Bon
is.
Scott days.
That's right. That's what's coming through here immediately. But I heard, I read rather that in terms of that big sound and the Mutt Lang and a big production on the concert tours, that they were just getting sick and tired of dragging around the giant bell and the cannons and all that stuff. They just that wasn't them. Angus and Malcolm wanted to get back to the roots.
Have you seen the video of them rehearsing for this tour?
Yeah.
And they're just in a rehearsal space playing this album?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, couple of the videos are just them jamming.
I think it's probably from
In a
that
room.
footage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you try to think of another band that when you hear it, you know it's AC/DC.
Van Halen. With Dave.
Well, I don't know though.
I think
right?
when Sammy came in,
hold on.
it could have been anybody.
So if you put on Spanish Fly, you don't know that's Van Halen.
What about
You know what I mean?
Vocals.
like
But I'm
Iron
saying, like,
Maiden?
every fucking song of AC/DC,
Yeah.
you know it's them.
Yeah. It's signature. They never changed the recipe. Yeah.
Right.
This and they, like, who said it? One of you said they got some backlash for that, for just not,
Right.
evolving, I guess, as a band.
Yeah, but Angus owned it. He said, "No, this is the 12th album of sounding
Yeah.
like."
Well, I guess that's
What
what
what I think is interesting too is every song ends the same way.
Yeah,
Like they're about to pass out. Like all like they're just right down to it. Not the songs don't end like done. Yeah, it's like the live feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
the
like-
drum.
like the end of For Those About the Rock. Fucking cannon.
yeah, they're not leaving quietly. Wow. So yeah, obviously Brian Johnson, Angus, unsung here. God bless him. Malcolm Young, Cliff Williams, bass.
yeah,
Yep.
yep. All
Well, I
right.
guess Angus, like the Back of Black album, you can kind of see AC/DC in the album. It's mostly black.
Yeah.
You want to do the same thing in this. And they said, no, you can't do that
Well,
again. So he always wants to repeat everything he's doing.
Yeah.
A great album cover.
Yeah.
Love that.
Real simple.
I looked
Pencil
it up.
sketch.
People
Yeah.
have it tattooed and
Sketch.
everything. I mean, it's
Yeah.
freaking awesome, though. It's great.
Yep.
All right, I will. I'll point out some of the weaknesses, though.
Yep.
All right, Rising Power. Oh, by the way, on Twitter or X or whatever the one I call it now, when I was looking up this album and what people are talking, because the reunion of it was this month and people talking about it, people love this fucking album. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to hear people's comments on it.
I remember buying this and being kind of disappointed, but I like it now.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like
84. Yeah, it was just like I remember. I was like, whoa, we just finished For Those About to Rock, right?
Yeah.
That was the one before this.
Yeah.
And it was almost like you're getting ready for that. Let's put I put the finger on you or whatever, and all of a sudden, this it just didn't. But
Well,
now
I think with Van Halen, it wasn't such a hard blow because Diver Down wasn't that great either.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
went from Woman and Children to 84, it'd be
Right,
like,
good
what
point,
the
yeah.
hell
Yeah.
is
Right.
this, We kind of got a little bit of where they were going with Diver Down.
Yep. All right, first song, Rising Power.
So I'll leave a simple riff, stripped down, the chorus classic, chugs along, kind of a 2-part solo. I just felt this was the worst selection to lead the album off. I didn't think this was the right. There's some songs we're going to review soon that I think would have been
Way better.
Yeah, because 1983, people are buying this on vinyl, cassettes. I just think that the way it was, I think it was the worst decision was making this song the lead-off song.
Yep.
Well, again, the same with Rainbow. I don't think they should have let off that album with that. track either.
Right.
This is where you have to have faith in your producer, right?
Right, well,
they're the ones that are going to decide you order
But they're
the song.
producing this, AC/DC.
Well, that's why you got Rising Power first.
But Rainbow to me didn't have any good song. I mean, they
That's
had one
Glover's
good song.
fault.
Here,
They
you've
had some
got
better
some
ones.
material here you could really like introduce so people
No, but
hear
we found
this
a
and
couple Rainbow tunes we thought would have
Yeah, way
fit better
rocking.
at first, right?
Yep.
I mean, that certainly wasn't the rated song.
All right.
All right.
Mark, what do you say on the tune?
I said it was a strong opener, but the song itself is. I understand what you're saying with the placement of the song, but I think the song still is a solid track. Catchy riff. I like the chorus. And this is obviously before Johnson blew his voice out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wrote the exact same thing. I just said, I wonder if this is the last album before Brian's voice.
Yeah,
really
he had
go.
a definite transition, right, from
Right.
I think this to Flying the Wall. It's
Yeah.
like, what? Now he sounds like a frog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
He toured this
Frog
whole
on the
album
wall.
yelling like that, right? And but he still got that for those about the rock back of black voice
Yep.
on this. So
But you can hear it getting there. Like it's
yeah,
it's gonna be
it's
the
not
last.
quite as powerful as Back in Black,
Right.
Right.
but you got to remember Back in Black. First album, this guy hasn't even toured yet with this band and gone on 14-month tour
Right.
singing. This guy's fresh. This guy came out of a bar, right?
Right.
Singing. Now he's got, 2 years under his belt of touring with that freaking voice, dude. And that's, I don't know. And same with Kiefer.
Well, I said that on the last podcast. Like, I just don't know how you sustain that voice. And it's funny, like you think of bands coming up today and the guy sings like Kiefer or whatever. And it's
Right.
like, is someone telling them to like look into the future? Like, you guys aren't going to be able to do this when you're 40.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
his
Brian
vocals-
Johnson didn't have anyone to look at that
Right.
it happened to, right?
Right.
Kiefer kind of could have, well, they were kind of around the same time.
Well, now you have it though. Now we have people that are old singing like that.
Say, hey,
so
dude.
Yeah.
a new band. That's what I mean. Like a new band today, you find a singer that's singing like Johnson now, and it's like
Yeah,
you're not gonna last.
The
With
thing
us.
is, Kiefer had two voices. He could
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a cleaner sound
Yeah.
when he wanted to. But then, like that first album, he was all
Yeah,
like
Balls to
Brian
it, yeah.
Johnson.
yeah. Iris wrote classic ACD tempo, gang chorus, good tune, and then I wondered about Brian. This being the last album.
Yeah.
All right, this house is on fire.
Well, you know what? This is a classic case for a band that knows how to keep songs under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
There's nothing here over freaking
Right.
3.5.
You're
Right. The song's it's just another classic DC groove. Now, it's not good or bad. It's the only issue I take is you did it. You've done it before. You're kind of just doing what you've always done.
So,
Sticking with the formula. Right?
So, you say it sounds like classic DC formula, but it's not strong. And I agree. And I think where it falls down, and I think where this album falls down, are the vocals and the lyrics. Like, I don't think they're as catchy. I don't think they're as relatable as the other previous albums. Brian's two previous albums.
Right.
Like those albums had some.
Though Johnson writes his own lyrics, I would assume, right?
I assume,
writes
yeah.
the
Yeah.
But I think that's what misses the mark on this because the riffs are there, like you're saying, Mark. Classic riff, classic progression. Like I said, you put it on, even without Brian, you'd say, "Oh, that's AC/DC."
Right.
But I think this album misses the mark with some of these titles
Lyrics,
and
yeah.
lyrics
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Good point there for sure. I thought this rhythm section,
They're
Malcolm Young. I mean, and
Oh,
yeah.
Cliff. I
They're
mean, oh my
locked
god.
in, right, Mark? That's and on this song though, I do like Brian's vocal range. Like he's not screaming as much. He's a little more mellower, and then he gets on with the chorus. But yeah,
It would be nice to hear him sing a song with a different tone. Like, oh wow, he can actually sing.
not full on.
Yeah,
I like
Keeper,
this-
You're like, wow, like when he does the intro
Do
to
they-
night songs, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, wow, he's got a clean voice too. I
Yeah.
don't know if Johnson could even do that. I've never heard him do it.
Do they have a song with Johnson? I can't, top of my head, can't think of like Ride On or stuff they did with Bon Scott. Like even Jailbreak was a little different.
Well,
Well, if he covered it like live, if he did them,
No. Like, did he write any tunes? Did they do any songs that were slower, bluesier, like the old DC, where Bon Scott sang a little differently? Like, I'm trying to think, or were they all balls out?
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember him ever having that other style voice other than
Let Me Put My Love Into You.
That was a
all
little
Back
mellower.
in
Yeah.
Black.
Nice love song.
Let me put my
but he still had that razor blade.
rock and roll ain't noise pollution. We're talking through
Yeah,
it.
I mean that's a good. Yeah, but well, so maybe it's after this. He can't do it anymore.
I kind of like this song. It's not the popular with you guys better than Rising Power.
I like it better
that.
than Rising Power. Yeah,
This
no, I do
house is
too.
on fire.
No, I know.
But
I thought it
whatever.
was catchy.
You know
I
what I
do
mean?
too.
I mean,
Yeah, if you were
six
ranking
doesn't half the other, but
Yeah.
Right. Title track, Flick of the Switch.
I mean, I think this is a classic.
Yeah.
I really like this song.
Yeah.
It was a single at the time. Angus's solo, I mean, great riff.
Yeah, I don't find it.
Do they play this, I wonder now? Like,
I don't think they play anything.
No,
on
No?
I think they do.
yeah.
I think I did read that it's
They
still
should.
it's still on their set
Yeah,
list.
wow.
Classic drum counting in intro with crashes.
it. Yeah.
And if you don't move on this one, something's wrong. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a great tune all around. Strongest song on the album.
Yep.
Well, yeah, title track. I mean,
Yeah.
it's predictable, but great. You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean? It's like they're not reinventing the wheel, but it's still just fucking great.
And lyrically, it's great.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and I think that was the difference, right?
I think so. A lot of these songs that I didn't like, I'm like, God, the vocal is the lyrics. I call out a couple of lines he says later. So, all right, moving on. Nervous Shakedown.
I say I like Johnson on this one. I like the riff and the pre-chorus. It's kind of cool. And the format doesn't change, though, you know. But I thought Johnson was pretty good on this tune.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, raw sounding. You know, this is getting back to that low, that different production.
Yep.
You're talking like the pre-Johnson production.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they were going for in this album.
Right.
I just had the chorus is bad for AC/DC standards, and seems like the song drags a little bit with that tempo. But
Yep.
all right,
That was a 4-minute and 27-second song. That was
Maybe
probably
that's
the
why it
longest
was
song on the
dragging.
album.
that's why it dragged to me, I guess. Landside.
I put Ted Nugent open, like the guitar sound and what he was doing.
I said I liked the Fleetwood Mac version better.
Yeah. He does have a ripping solo in this, but that's Angus, right? I mean,
Yeah. It's one of those boogie woogie rhythms, right? On
Yeah.
this one. I said it was one of my favorite tracks on the album.
Barroom Boogie, I wrote.
I said
Yeah.
it was more of the Bon Scott days.
Oh,
Definitely.
it's definitely a nod to that era. for
Right.
sure.
Very Motorhead-like. I could picture Lemmy singing this. And
Which is kind of the same wheelhouse, right?
yep,
As
yep.
Johnson.
But I wrote, I do love the boogie.
Oh, so we all had boogie in there.
Isn't
Yeah.
that cute?
I wrote Barroom Boogie.
Yeah.
Like a boogie woogie.
I
You had boogie.
I just had boogie.
Lay down the boogie.
And Brian Johnson does a good job, I thought, on this
Yeah,
song.
that's my favorite track. That and Flick of the Switch are two favorite songs.
All right, what's next? Guns for Hire.
This seems to me like a song that could have been on For Those About the Rock.
First single, I think.
Yeah, I like it. It's good tune.
What?
Good.
Go ahead.
Well, that's
Cutting you off.
no, go for it.
I'm bad. You know what? It's a very similar melody. Go back and listen to COD.
COD.
Care of the Devil.
Yeah.
Same melody. If you listen again, it's very similar.
Huh.
But I
As
love
what?
COD.
Care of the
Yeah.
Devil.
And it's funny you said it sounds like something
Yeah,
that should be on
yeah,
for those of
right.
They
Yeah.
may have said this is too much like COD. Let's put it
That
on the
could be a
next album.
leftover,
Yeah. Love the guitar intro.
Mm.
I said I wasn't a fan of the chorus. This is where Johnson misses, in my opinion. Guns for Hire. Like I don't know. There's something about the melody and how he does them that's just not clicking with me.
Well, this one comes in at 324. You know, all these are short, in and out songs, right? It said more classic DC. Only they sound like this, like you said.
Yeah.
There. There's only one band that sounds like that. I like the guitar intro. I think I said, I think Angus could actually play the same solo on every track.
Yeah.
It would fit on every track.
Yeah.
I wonder how many takes he does, or if he just
One,
rips-
and they just
they just loop it.
yeah,
That he,
but
like,
still great. I said Johnson at the peak right here, his ability. I think he was pretty good on this tune.
yeah,
This is kind of he went down after this.
Right.
yeah. It's funny that we all think that. All right, Deep in the Hole.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like,
wait.
what are they talking about here? Mining?
Mining.
Well digger?
I think it's raining out. A good tune.
All right, I got. How does Angus keep coming up with these simple but effective riffs?
He's a machine.
Sometimes I go back and I'm like, didn't he already play this riff somewhere in this album? And I go, well, I guess he didn't, but they're all just sound so familiar when you.
He can take 3 chords and write 15 or 30
know.
songs from those 3 chords.
I go, they're so basic but catchy. Just classic DC.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. What's next?
Bedlam in Belgium.
Yeah, Bedlam again.
So,
So
It's
this is
almost
my
as bad
lyric
as
thing.
Mistress for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
so
Remember that one? Talk about one of the worst song titles for a rock band.
So awful lyrics, obviously. Song title. I
Right.
thought the music. I liked it. I liked
Great
the
riff.
music. Oh my god. I think this is an overlooked track, and I think the reason, obviously, the lyrics, right? The title. What's he talking about here? But I thought the music was great.
Yeah, I wrote great riff. Like the tune's progression and rhythm, but again, not a fan of the vocal, mainly the chorus. And I said, I don't know why it reminds me of something that would have fit on Fly on the Wall. I don't know if can't say it's a leftover, but
And it continues. Certainly not a lot of diversity between these songs, right? But they all start to kind of sound the same.
and that's okay. Like that's
Yeah, but
that's
they're
their
effective.
formula. Yeah.
Well, like you said, I think the lyrical content is the weakest part of these songs.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Badlands.
I like this one. And this is a question. Is he used? I forget what it even called.
Slide.
Like a slide.
I said,
Yeah.
name another
Auto
AC/DC song
Where
that-
he even uses.
where he uses a slide. I've never heard of it.
And I said it sounds like Cinderella.
Oh, yeah.
Inspiration from the song on Long Cold Winter.
It's the same blues. It's a same blues riff that blues
Yeah.
guys play
And you
all the
got
time.
two singers that sound exactly. It's reminding me of Cinderella,
Yeah, yeah,
even though it's way before that.
yeah. So yeah, I wrote. I don't think he's ever played slide before, and then I wrote. They take a basic chorus and make the progression unique with unique beats. Here he's taking a very basic slide technique and making the whole song out of it. I don't know how he did that. Like
Yeah, he's very.
many have used this technique, but just for like parts of songs. He just took the whole. He just said, "I'm going to play it through the whole fucking song,"
and it worked.
and it works. But again, lyrically, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, the lyrics is not the.
Badlands. Yeah.
You have anything else, Dennis?
Nah, you guys summed it up there.
All right. Brain Shake.
Off we go. I mean, I think Brian Johnson, you can hear him like, I can't believe the guy didn't stroke out after the song. And you can just see like View Angus like just be like all coked out on his solo. I mean, it's just fast
you just
paced.
picture this guy sings this album, right? How many takes he does. And then you finish this album, and now you got to go on tour for 8 months and do this every freaking night.
I wrote ending strong with this one. I like it, but as I've mentioned pretty much on all these songs, but Flick of the Switch, not sure if it's his best vocal. I'll leave you with a lyric from it. Fee, fi, fum, smell the blood of rock and roll.
Oh.
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
There's just certain words that shouldn't be in like rock music. Fee, fi, fo, fum should never be in Christmas, right? Christmas should never be on a rock song or album anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But this album gets better if they get a better producer, and
better lyrics.
and better lyrics to your point.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we're looking at this is right up there with for those about the rock and so nothing's going to match Back in Black. I mean, but it's going to be a classic. It's good now, but it'd be stronger if that. And I just think reorder some of the tracks. I still think you take some. You take a Flick of the Switch and you lead that off. I mean, now, in the world of iTunes and stuff, we listen to songs individually, but, in this particular time, you drop the needle and boom, this is what you got.
I bet if you went on Spotify and looked at this album, Flick of the Switch is played way more than all of them, and all of the others are probably not even played that much. I listened to it again the other day because I reviewed it freaking weeks ago. So I was like, I got to listen to it again. Because of some of the stuff I was reading, people are passionate about this album. So I was like, all right, I'm going to listen again. So I listened again, and the lyric stuff I couldn't get past, but I had it on the background while I was doing work, and love it. Love the riffs. Love it.
I think the music is strong enough to compensate, I think, for the lyrical. Because like you said, if you're all mowing along the back, you're probably not half paying attention to what he's singing anyway, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, like you said, these guys aren't poets. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
All right.
All right, what do we think?
Well, say what you will. Does it hold up?
I say yes. I would listen to this today, tomorrow, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. I'd throw this album on.
I'm going to aggressively agree with you. I even though I don't.
Yeah, I have my problems with this album.
I don't like the lyrics.
Obviously.
I don't like the some of these titles, but it holds up. It's when I listen to it again, like I said, I was like, it's a good album. We can put it on right after this podcast.
Yeah.
I bought it. I mean, I agree.
What did it do for sales?
Billboard 15, number 15.
You saying 15?
Album.
Platinum.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
But
Off of the back of
the back of two powerhouse albums.
Yeah.
Before it, right?
The issue, I think, is I just remember buying it.
Me too.
And I remember initially being disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But I've grown to love it, you know, because it was just, you're coming off For Those About the Rock, and it was like, oh my God. Yeah. So you expect that. And I just remember listening and going, what? Rise in Power? It just seems so like shallow and dry. Where's the cannons? Where's the?
But that was.
I put the finger on you.
That was intentional, though, right?
No, I know that, but I mean, as a
we didn't know
kid,
that then.
yeah.
Well, I don't think the lyrics were intentional. I think
no, the production.
The production intentional. I don't know if he had help from one of the producers from Mutt with lyric content, but it just didn't. The melodies didn't. It just didn't work.
Right.
No.
But again, I listened to it.
Which is strange because he wrote the lyrics on the two before and they were strong.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. I don't know if Mutt helped. As the
Oh,
producer
Mike
helped.
on the other two, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, boy, we're learning that the producer just plays a huge role.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Well, like Derek said about Van Halen, Templeman basically
Created.
that identity, right?
Yeah.
For lack of a better term.
Yeah,
the
true.
identity of
Even
that
for
band.
a great band. But and not everybody's Jimmy Page.
No.
No, some
You know
of
what I
them
mean?
can do it themselves because they're just. And I think Eddie, to an extent, could have probably brought them pretty far without Templeman. But I don't think you can do it all yourself unless you're just one of those. Like I think John Sykes could do. I think John Sykes could produce his own album.
But with Led Zeppelin, there was no dysfunctionality in the band when you think about it.
Well,
they were all brothers.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like Plant going, wait a minute, Page, you're taking over or whatever.
But they had
You
Andy
never
Johns, right?
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I think so. Led Zeppelin's music, I think, breathed a little bit more, had more space to be creative, and Robert was perfect for it in the bluesy aspect, and where Van Halen's music was more wound tight, and they needed Templeman to really dial that in. I don't think like any schmo could have created that.
No.
That's I don't know. It's me geeking out on.
Well, I mean, just listen to how they changed once Templeman went out the door. And then you buy
They got
Even
like Rainbow.
Smile, and it's like, sounds like a Van Halen album,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's only got one guy in it from that era, from
Right.
that band. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think the producer plays a huge part. Look at Bob Rock. Metallica doesn't write that album without that guy.
No.
You will
Right.
just watch that documentary, how on Kirk Hammett's case he got with stuff, and Lars's case. It's like, you're not leaving this shit.
Yeah.
Def
You know,
Leppard.
go home
ain't-
and do your homework and come back here with a solo for this song. You know what I mean? Where other producers, this is what you got?
Great.
Eh?
Def Leppard ain't Def Leppard without Mutt Lange.
No.
Yeah.
Def Leppard would never put that time in to those albums. I mean, I think they put too much time into some of those albums. They're overproduced, I think.
Yeah.
With Mutt Lange, but he's a perfectionist, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a line you got to draw. I think he really. But Bob Rock, our favorite albums, Derek, are all Bob Rock.
I know.
It's just like Jesus Christ, and this like band will have like 3 albums out, and then next one will come out and it'll be like, this is awesome. Producer Bob Rock, there you go.
Yeah.
He just brings that out.
Who did Electric Boys?
Bob Rock,
Yeah. There we go.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
The second album, right? Groovus Maximus?
Both.
Oh, he did.
No, first one.
Oh, he did.
I don't think he did the second one, and I like the first one's production better.
Oh, yeah.
He did that. Blue Murder, first album.
Yeah.
I mean, that is killer.
Yeah, he's pretty good, Bob Rock.
Good.
he's got a career ahead of him.
I mean, listen to those Metallica albums before he came in. They weren't that heavy and thick. He went and
No.
saw him live, and he goes, "Oh, I got to capture this on album." Because obviously live it sounds heavier, bigger,
Yeah.
the amps. So that's why he produced, and he goes, you listen to like the drums like on Injustice. They sound like tin cans.
Yeah.
He took that all out. He's like, we're just going to have balls to the wall freaking production. Which I don't think a lot of fans dug.
No, you're right. The
Thought they sold
diehards.
out on
yeah.
that, but I loved it.
Yeah. It's like when I saw Jason Bonham last week. His drum sound live was just
Killer.
holy smokes, so good, so
Yeah.
good.
Well, he kind of has to be when you're John Bonham's son.
That band, if they come around, you should check them out. The guitar player is he's this guy from Japan. And
he's in a cover band, Zepp cover.
Zepp cover band. He also has a documentary coming out called like Being Jimmy Page. Like he wants to be Jimmy Page.
Wow.
And he's met Jimmy Page. They got pictures of him and Jimmy. But on stage, Mark, Jimmy Page. Like,
Did he dress like him?
oh yeah. moved exactly like him. Moved
Wow.
his guitar
Did
exactly.
he wear the outfit?
Played sloppy like him. He fucking
And
nailed
that
it.
goes to the point we were talking about with these cover bands, like you were talking
Tribute
about.
band, yep.
That's the approach they're gonna take.
I would go and see that all day long.
Yeah,
I mean, that wasn't
the mannerisms. right?
Bonham playing, but the guy was Jason Bonham was nailing it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, who has more mannerisms on stage than Jimmy Page?
Right.
Right.
To steal, right?
Yeah.
This stuff that you gotta.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of cover bands that cover Zepp, they don't do it all. They
No.
don't put the time in.
Right.
They don't. But I think if you're going to do it on that level you're
That
talking
guy,
about, you
I'll
got
s-
to capture all that.
I'll send you some videos of him.
Yeah, I've
awesome.
seen him. He was in, not with Jason. He's in another.
He's in a Zepp tribute.
Yeah.
And they-
like the plant stuff.
Oh yeah.
You got to do all those mannerisms, for it to feel like you're there. You want to feel like you're at a Zepp
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
concert. All that.
Yep.
You know who's tapped into that?
Who?
Brian Tichy. He knows.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he does something with Zepp.
He knows
He
all
does
that.
Tribute.
He does a
Yeah.
Zepp tribute out in Vegas, and I think they only do it in Vegas. It's called Moby Dick's.
Right.
But
Yeah.
he also does the Bonzo Bash, which is just all drummers come up and play,
Yep.
like known drummers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come up and play a track,
But Brian will dissect like a part of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see him do I'm the One from Van Halen? He plays along to the track.
No.
I've note for note. I took two.
And then he stops, Mark, picks up the guitar and plays the solo.
He can
Yeah,
play it.
right.
The fucking guy can play guitar like nothing
Oh,
else.
yeah. So I took him playing. He had the video of him playing along to the track.
Yeah.
So I shut the volume off, and then I had two YouTube up. One was the actual real track of
Yeah.
Van Halen, and the other one was him playing along. And I turned his down, and I played the Van Halen track while he played the drums to it.
Yeah.
And he didn't miss one cymbal accent.
Yeah.
Every little nuance that Alex did
Wow.
on the song was in there. I'm like, this is incredible. He's doing it note for note.
Yeah.
Because that's a song you can go kind of embellish, right?
You can miss a few.
He didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love seeing those breakdown videos.
Yeah. He's a ridiculous drummer.
It's like that guy, a guitar player, broke down one of Eddie's songs, some shuffle. He gets to the end, he goes, I've got this all wrong. I can't even do this. Like, you can't even play like this. I think I sent it to Hilliker and stuff. I forget what song it was. But those videos are great.
Well, I remember on that Donnington, he was kind of signaling to somebody to turn Alex up.
All
Kept
right.
going like that.
Yeah.
And he was playing On Fire with one hand. Because
I
his other
remember
hand was
that.
pointing up, and he's going ding 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 dang, and he's playing with
Wow.
just his
Yeah.
neck hand. He's pointing like that, like get the volume up. And I'm like, how's he playing that without his pick? I mean, he played a million times, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a ripping song. He was just playing it with his freaking,
Unbelievable.
it was unreal.
Unbelievable. All right, so we've got next month, September 1983. We've got 3 pretty good albums. Should be fun. We've got Dokken, Breaking the Chains, debut album.
Yep.
We've got Black Sabbath, Born Again.
Oh yeah.
Ian Gillan.
Yep.
And we've got Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
Wow.
That'll be good.
Yep.
All of them will be good.
Yep.
All right.
Can't wait.
Anything else? All right. Please share as much as you can. Let everyone know we're out there, and hope you all have a good rest of the month. See ya.